obviously, matching announcing today and this morning that Dillian Whyte versus Marius Walk is going to be on the card. Plus, they announced like Diego Pacheco is going to be on the card. Tom Little against Major Jazal Majidov. I'm just sorry, butchered that. And obviously, the big piece of the news is that it's Dillian Whyte, right? That Dillian Whyte's back. And interesting, around the same time, I think it was yesterday, I want to say, this article came out from Boxing Scene. Hearn frustrated by long wait for UKAD's decision on Dillian Whyte. And let me read some of these hilarious quotes from good old Eddie Hearn. Where does it start? Hold on. Make sure I get the beginning. Let's actually just read parts of the article itself because there's some funny bits here from the author, Boxing Clever, who I don't know who that person is. I am curious who that author is at Boxing Scene. There was a controversy in the aftermath of the Ruiz bout. This is the author of the article speaking, not Eddie Hearn. There was a controversy in the aftermath of the Ruiz bout after it was revealed that Whyte had an adverse result, not an atypical. Want to add that part to it. Adverse result in a June drug test administered by UKAD. Whyte and his handlers were not advised of the adverse finding until July 17th, only 3 days before the Ruiz bout. Yeah, tough shit. There was a hearing held with the National Anti-Doping Panel on the morning of the fight, and Whyte was clear to move forward with the Ruiz contest. Ruiz and his handlers were unaware of the testing issue or the private hearing until several days after the fight was over. However, UKAD continued to investigate the findings of Whyte's June test, which prompted the WBC to suspend the British boxer's status as mandatory challenger to world champion Deontay Wilder. We all know this. Now, Whyte's promoter Eddie Hearn admits that he's frustrated with the ongoing wait for UKAD's decision. He is not suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control or UKAD, and he has a career, Hearn said to BBC. He needs to fight. This is his career, his livelihood, his job, and what he does. We're still waiting for UKAD to give their official, I like how he phrases this, synopsis of the event.
Good word.
That's not what they're doing, Yeti, but I like the framing of this discussion already. The official synopsis of the event, but he's had his hearing back in July. He is cleared to fight. It would be ridiculous of him to wait while there is no reason for him to wait. It's not a game. It's not about chess moves. We went through the correct process. We had a hearing with the National Anti-Doping Panel in July, and they cleared Dillian Whyte to box. If you have a problem with that, show me another decision, but make sure it's the right one. We can't wait. We saw Ryan Martin banned for a fight that took place last November. These processes are taking too long. Whyte had his hearing in July. He's been cleared. If you have something to say, let's hear it. But in the meantime, let Dunn continue his career. Now, where to begin? First off, it's not a synopsis of the event. That's not what you're waiting on, Eddie. You're waiting on an official verdict on whether he is suspended or not. And you explained it literally in your next statement, Eddie, on why this process takes so long, or the fact that this process just does take so long. You name certain examples where this does happen. Ryan Martin fought in between the times where he was caught, in the sense, in the first test that he popped for in last November, and he got suspended only, a month ago or 2 months ago when the suspension was handed out. It took a year, almost a year. Obviously, Tyson Fury is another key example or key case where that took 18 months, and there's a whole legal case around it, and they retroactively suspended him for a year and a half. And I mean, technically speaking, could Tyson Fury go to the Saudi Arabia boxing commission, and have a fight there in that meantime when he was suspended years ago, or air quotes not suspended, just under the process of UKAD? Absolutely. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he is not, quote, clear to fight in the very traditional sense of the phrase. You literally shopped him to a Saudi Arabian boxing commission that's not under the jurisdiction of UKAD. So you can't tell us that he's clear to fight when, especially, you're not making him, or you're not having him fight in the UK. And his process is not done. You're even saying that we're waiting a decision. And it's not a synopsis of the event. That's not how it works. And again, the cases you brought up, Eddie, are cases that show you're wrong in that framing of the discussion. And we know why you're framing the discussion this way, to throw away any blame for you or Dillian Whyte in this case. But you're a promoter. You do sleazeball shit. We know that's what you do. All promoters do it. And this is just another sleazeball thing, to be honest. And plus, the fight's shit, too. Like, I don't care about a Dillian Whyte-Maurice Walk fight at all. Add to the fact that it's helping sports wash a genocidal regime. Add into the fact that it's tied into this entire story of the UCAD and British Boxing Board Control having a innate issue with its system. Yeah, I'm not too excited about this matchup and this news. Gary, your thoughts on this?
Promoters are slimy, filthy scumbags by nature. And Eddie is best in breed. If they're not going to suspend him, then they're not going to suspend him. That's just something you have to live with, right? Like, this is not the first time with this guy, right? When was he last suspended? Whyte was suspended back in 2012.
Was it that far back?
2014. It's been a while, but whatever. I mean, he's got a history of this. I mean, he should be, honestly. Like, I think if you fail once, you should get a year. If you fail twice, that's it. You should be done. He should be done. But he's not really going to get anything. He was allowed to fight then, and he's fighting 6 months later. So, literally, he didn't skip any beats, right? He's only fighting twice a year, typically, and he fought twice this year. So, he got nothing. Okay. That's just the way it is. Like, I guess you give Eddie credit for getting his guy not suspended, but basically, I mean, why not take steroids? And what did he drop Big Baby for? Failing a test, right? Yeah. So what is he not dropping? I mean, you see the double standard there?
Of course. I mean, we literally have a intro sound to the show where it's just Eddie Hearn talking about the Joe Miller case and saying we can't have guys walking into the ring all juiced up when he literally fought in a hearing, or at least Whyte did, his fighter did, to do that 3 days before his fight with Ruiz, and they did not tell Ruiz or his camp about this. So it's just so obvious how blatantly contradictory he's been.
Eddie, like, flip it around. The other guy, you find out the other guy is on something. Do you let Dillian Whyte walk into the ring? Whatever his answers, he looks like a scumbag. If he says yes, he doesn't care about his fighter. If he says no, then he's a scumbag for letting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's no right answer there. And again, like, if the matchup was good, I would be happy with it. But it's not a great matchup. You know what I mean? Like, if this was like Dillian Whyte, Joe Miller, 2 cases of PD use, I'd be like, great. I don't care because the matchup is great. It's a great fight.
James Toney. You should have him fight James. Is James Toney allowed to fight anymore? Because he failed a lot of tests.
No.
Done, right?
No. Or at least he should not be allowed to fight anymore. Let's make that pretty clear that no James Toney fight should be allowed. Same with, like, Oliver McCall and anyone else that's above the age of 45 years old. But digressing, any other thoughts on Dillian Whyte, to be honest? I feel like these are my thoughts. I don't have much else. I just think it's a bad move. I think it's a move that could be avoided too. Like, why not wait the extra 4 months or whatever for UCAD to have its ruling and determination on the case?
A power move by Eddie.
It's 100% a power move by Eddie. I understand why. I'm not ignorant. I know why he does it, but I also know, like, there's another route of positive PR that he could have done by angling the discussion of, you know what, you're right, we messed up on the Whyte Ruiz case. I'm not gonna promote Whyte in the meantime. We're gonna sit Whyte on the sideline. If he needs some money, don't worry about it, Whyte. You can talk to me, but we're gonna make sure we're gonna wait for UCAD's ruling. We're gonna respect the process, because right now they're not respecting the due process at all. It's in the same way that he's doing with Chavez in Arizona. Like, it's almost exactly parallel, except there's distinct differences. Because, like, with Chavez, like, it is federally illegal what he is doing in the United States. What he's doing with Whyte, I don't know if it's illegal in that case. I just don't think so. But in Chavez's case, it is.
with the Chavez case, is the Nevada State Athletic Commission breaking? I mean, yeah, it's Nevada, right?
Yeah.
Nevada State Athletic Commission breaking the law, or is Eddie
No,
breaking
no,
the
no,
law?
no. So Nevada's the one that has the temporary suspension. Obviously, they're waiting till
It would be Arizona.
it'd be Arizona that's one breaking the law. Yes.
Arizona breaking the law. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like Eddie
Yes.
knows it's illegal, but I think he's got smart lawyers who he's paid well that says, work me around this, right? And they're like, well, if we do it this way, it's illegal, but it's not. It's Arizona breaking the law, not you. All right, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Eddie's is involved in breaking the law, but he's probably. I mean, Eddie's got a ton of money. You don't think he hires good lawyers? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got his tracks covered, I would think.
Yeah, I agree.
Although this Arizona thing, I'm interested in seeing.
Obviously, Arizona's, I think, having like emergency meetings as we speak about this issue. Nevada punted the decision till 2 days before the fight that's scheduled. So I don't know. That's a fascinating case because it is so blatantly illegal what Eddie and Matchroom is doing, and on top of it, what Arizona is potentially doing, and how Arizona is now acting out of line from federal law, which always oversees state law, and on top of it, stepping out of line from the ABC. And that's a big move. It happens like on occasion, let's be real, that certain states will step out of line with rulings and with overall rule sets and regulations from the ABC. It's happened before, especially in MMA. It's happened quite often. There's been a huge schism between athletic commissions within the ABC because of the new adopted MMA unified rules. But I mean, this is just another iteration of that, where you have a rogue commission acting out of line and out of step purely due to money. Like, let's be honest. Like, this is gonna, if Arizona can pull this off, it's a moneymaker. Like, it's a revenue generator for the Arizona Commission that they don't usually see. Like, think about how often the Arizona Boxing Commission gets big time fights. Not often, or even MMA fights. They don't. So their revenue is purely dependent on tax revenue they create from these events. And to have a big time boxing event, even though it's just Jacob Chavez, it's still a big time boxing event. Let's be honest, in relative sense. They want the money. And I think when you mentioned the whole, they have lawyers, they're trying to figure a way out of it. I forget the name of it, but the U.S., not anti-doping because it's not USADA, but the PD collection agency that they have on board now that also does the NFL and NBA. Guys, do not let them use that framing to justify that move. I forget the name of it's like drug-free sport. I think it's called. And drug-free sport is not a WADA signatory. It's not under the WADA code. NFL and NBA are not under WADA codes in terms of PD regulation. And to say that, oh, drug-free sport does NFL and NBA, it's fine, is actually definitionally out there saying, no, what we have is lesser than the WADA code. Or
Right.
at least on paper, it's a lesser drug system and drug format and drug regulation than WADA.
Right, and why would you use anything that's not WADA approved if you weren't trying to get around something? Like, if you weren't trying to cut corners, why would you go to it? You know, it doesn't make any sense unless you're trying to get away with something.
Mm-hmm.
So just going to them on its face is suspicious to me.
No, I agree completely.